right. What's up, man? So how's everything going?
Good. I was traveling in New York, so this was obviously after our 3 month program ended, but no, it was good. Went off track a little bit, but as soon as I got back home, the body was craving some veggies, and
Yeah,
literally
nice.
got back on track again. So like I like gained like a pound or two, but was able to kind of most of it I think pretty much shaken off at this point. Just going back to
Yeah,
the basics, clean eating. So it's nice.
yeah. How long were you in New York?
I was there for like 9 or 10 days.
Okay, okay. My wife just
So
came back from New York a few weeks ago. Her and her sister went to visit.
yeah, no, it was open when I when I was there. And then when I came back, it was like one of the first days of like the mask mandate back for indoors for Cali. So
Yeah, yeah,
surprising.
yeah. It's interesting how this whole thing is playing out.
Right.
But it is what it is. Nothing we can do but just make sure we stay healthy. Um, so you gained a pound or two.
Yeah, I think I mean I had a good amount of food to be completely honest, but like I think with all the walking offset a
Yeah.
lot of it. I was walking like at least 7 to 8 miles a day.
Oh, nice.
Just just and it didn't feel like it though, but I just think when you're in that environment in that city and you walk block to block, it just adds up real quick.
Right.
So like my caloric intake was probably much higher than usual. However, I think it was able to be somewhat offset by the exercise.
Wow. I'm at my daughters are at tennis right now, right? And
Oh, okay.
so there's like a summer camp, and these kids walk by, kids being kids, they wave, right? Because I
Yeah.
think I used to work with one of them, but then the other kids saw her wave, and they're like, "Hi, stranger," and they just all start saying, "Hi, stranger." You're not supposed to talk to strangers, kids.
Well, it's a different world, but are you trying to are they looking up to Naomi?
I don't know. They don't even know who she is. The only person they know is like Serena, because
Okay, well, yeah.
they ended up watching like a YouTube video on her after they were just scrolling through or whatever. And I think my oldest typed in tennis, and a video of Serena came up, so they watched that. But other than that, they don't like to watch it. It's funny, they play all these sports, but they don't like to watch them at all. Like they will not watch a softball game. They will not watch basketball. They hate watching it, but they love to play it.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? Especially when as a kid, you just want to play something, you don't really want to watch
Yeah,
it. It's like as
yeah,
a
it's
kid, I like
funny.
baseball, but like I wouldn't sit through like a full baseball game as a kid. I mean, now I would, but not as a kid.
Right.
No.
So we're working on it. We'll see. They like it, so at some point they will. I'm not too worried about it. Just let them have fun.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I mean, that's like, I mean, if they enjoy it, they'll pursue it. They'll work hard. It teaches them kind of responsibility in that way. So I guess there's that.
Yeah. It's a win for me. It's a win. Um, what So where did you start at, and where did you finish at weight wise?
Yeah. So I started at like 184.4 around there,
Okay.
around 185 range. I ended up somewhere around the 156 range, so pretty close to 30 pounds.
Okay.
Um, but like the that in itself is pretty amazing to me, just because even throughout like the period that I had the 3 months, I mean there were a lot of holidays in between, right? You had Memorial Day, you had July 4th, and then you just had friends getting together, family events, COVID opening back up. So that's like with like cheat days and here and there, cheat meals and things of that sort. So, I mean, as you know, I went to Texas for like a week or two. Even between that, I was able to kind of shut off the pounds there. So
Yeah.
it's nice. It's actually one of the first programs where like that introduced me to like really healthy food and I actually enjoy eating healthy food now. If that like it
Nice.
it makes you feel good. Like
Yeah.
it's a learning curve, I'll say, because the first couple weeks pretty much were not fun.
Right.
But the body thanks you, I guess, like after, you feel better, you got more energy. Um, so in that sense, it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's dope, man. Because you know what's funny is people are always worried about like, well, if I have a cheat meal or I can't eat this or I can't eat that or okay, yeah, please. If I can't do this, can't do that, like I have to be super restrictive or you know, and there is some restrictions. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like you said, the first couple of weeks and just throughout the program in general, there are restrictions, but you are able to have a cheat meal or to go out and spend time on vacation or do those different things and still be able to reach your goals, right? That I think that's what's like kind of a roadblock for some people is like you just can't get over it. They think they have to go like from 0 to 100.
Right, right. No, it's I think once you get like in a good habit, like it takes time, right? Obviously to build up a habit and
Right.
like get that point. And then I think it's kind of responsibility on your own at that point to kind of you were pretty you're really good about just like, well, like, I'm not gonna force you to I'm not gonna keep track of every single meal you're eating. It's more of a check-in period. It's nice because it's like this is on you. Like I'm giving you all the tools at this point. Now it's for you to follow. So obviously appreciated the input and the advice, and you check in weekly, which is nice because there's accountability there. But at the same time, it's like it's like an adult program sense. This is this is your life.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you this. What prompted you to start, making the change to start working on this?
Well, I mean, as you know, like with my previous job, I was not working too friendly of hours, so I was putting on a good amount of weight there, and then I told myself I had an imaginary figure in my head, like the 180, 185 range. I said if it ever got that bad, around that point, I would seek to reverse things before they became not irreversible, but even more difficult to kind of address.
Right. Right.
And I just noticed also like my energy was not where it used to be. Obviously, I'm talking like college level or even post college for like the first couple years working, but so wanted to get back to it. Plus, with the pandemic, it kind of spurred, I guess, like a healthy motivation in a sense where you have the time. You're at home now, so even if like a workout's 20, 30 minutes, still good. And so you can still prompt something. So
Right.
better starting now than later, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So was this something that you were already like kind of working on, or were you just kind of waiting till you hit that danger number?
No, no. So the actual interesting thing is like when the pandemic first started in like March 2020, I went on a running binge, like running a good amount, just straight cardio. And
Okay.
but I noticed that I was eating kind of the same thing, so it was kind of just not offsetting because obviously the caloric intake was pretty high, but at that point it was more so just I was working out, but then I stopped working out, um, and then I found myself thinking, well, if I can get something that's consistent that I can follow through, because like realistically, running like 3 to 6 miles like a day is not like that's a lot of time to be spent, just on that. It doesn't
Right.
really address the root because you have to keep doing it, right? Like
Yeah.
I've always heard diet is like one of the most important things at that point, but I wasn't addressing that, and I really, I guess, needed help. Like I could easily like you can find like a YouTube video, but like the thing about like YouTube videos, it can show you something, but it's not going to keep you accountable. Like
Right.
it's not going to tell you like the reasons why or things of that sort. So like they like just having a program been set in place was kind of critical for me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think with and I tell people this all the time, like there's programs on YouTube, there you can Google workouts and there's tons of information out there, but without the context and like you said, the accountability and some of the personalization that's necessary, it's really hard to get those to like get you all the way to your goal. They could definitely get you started,
or provide you some motivation or give you some tools, but like you can't finish the job maybe the way you want to without some of that more hands-on personal kind of feel to it.
Right. No, it's well, it also helped that I started with Joe too. You know, when I reached out to him, he's like, "Well, I didn't make a change." So it's kind of just more so like, you know, you're not in it alone. But also, I think what was nice was the calls that you were hosting with the other people showed kind of just like everyone kind of reaching, like looking towards a goal. So it wasn't just like me going, "Oh man, this week one sucks," but it's kind of nice to know like, hey, like other people are going through it too. People have gone through it, so it's nice too. Like you don't really get that, I think, on a consistent basis. Like with I mean, information's available right on Google and everything, but at the same time, like I mean, there's a reason why people go to school to learn. Like you can, if you really wanted to learn like accounting, for example, you could go through and you can watch countless YouTube videos and go online. But it's like there's like a different experience, I think, with going through with other people in the classroom
Yeah.
experience, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like the accountability again, not just from like your coach, but also from like people who are doing it with you. And then you have people that maybe are a step ahead of you or a step behind you. Like you get to learn from them, and then you get to mentor other people. So it helps to kind of foster an environment that makes sense for your goals. So that yeah, I really like. I always like when people that have been on the program decide to come back and join one of those calls, and like it's always really cool to hear where they're at and their experiences and what's going on with them. It's like it's like when somebody graduates, like the alumni comes back and talk to the
Oh
kids, and like
yeah,
it's
no,
really cool.
no, it's nice too. Plus, just like especially just being able to kind of hear different like people like and like the amount of weight that they've lost. Obviously, everyone has kind of like their own path, whether it's kind of 40 to 60 to 80 pounds out, like whatever, that's the biggest cases and things of that sort, like in terms of kind of success stories, habits. But it it puts like I guess it allows you to kind of realize, oh, like it is possible. Because like
Yeah,
when you throw out a number like the 30, 40 pounds, whatever, right? It doesn't seem like achievable at that point. It's like, oh, that's like, there's no way. But then you realize, oh, I mean, it can be done. Looks like that other person did it. I mean, it's kind of, so, I mean, all it takes is one person kind of knock on the door, right? And then other people come knocking.
right. Yeah. That's it, man. That's it. Like you break that 4 minute mile. Now everybody's breaking the 4 minute mile.
Right. No, exactly. See, it's I mean, people don't really try, I guess, until like they realize it can be fully done. Because I think like they realize like they, the mind defeats them before they even get started. So
Okay.
obviously,
Yeah.
you just got to push through that.
So kind of digging into that a little bit. Like before you started the program, like what were if you had any, like what were your apprehensions? Is there anything that you were nervous about, or
Uh,
believing in the possibility or anything?
I think it was more so just a commitment that you're gonna have to input. I mean, realizing that for look for the 3 month program, I'm just gonna use that as an example. For 3 months, I'm gonna be held accountable for this. And getting started, I think, is the hardest thing because it's a change from your like typical lifestyle, right? Unless you're like kind of living and breathing kind of some of the dietary similarities with your program or along with kind of the workouts, it's going to be, I guess, a shock to the system. So I kind of knew that ahead of time. So that was more of kind of the fear of getting started was, well, when do I get started? Like, can I at least have one last good meal? Like, can I get some barbecue or something? Go to Chick-fil-A or something beforehand. But figure like you can throw all that away and just get started at that point. It's just taking the first step, I think, is pretty hard.
Yeah. Okay. So like knowing that getting started is the hard part, like what advice would you have for somebody who's considering like doing the program, who's like kind of on the fence, like thinking about getting started, but hasn't maybe yet? Like what advice would you give them?
I I would say I would say it's like any other. It just takes time to get acclimated, whether it's a week or two. But I think one of the things people maybe I need to hear, I guess, is the fact that it's not just like a program, like a blueprint where I follow day to day. to where it becomes more of a habit at that point. Like it took maybe a month or two for me to kind of just realize, okay, I don't need to necessarily follow every single step on here. I know the gist of what I need to do, and so I took that, and I think that's the most successful. Like as opposed to following kind of like A, B, C, D. Now it's kind of okay. I just gotta stick to this. I gotta remember this. So it's just having flexibility there, but it becomes your own habit. So I would just say, like, stick to the plan at first. It's like a growing pain, but after that, like, you're able to kind of take responsibility and adjust however you see fit, and you still see the positive benefits. I mean, whether it's a pound a week or whatever people want to shoot for, I don't know, 5 pounds a week, like what's realistic or not. But progress is progress, though, right? And so your ultimate goal is not just the length of the program, I think, but the kind of consistent throughout. Like it's been past program for me, but I'm still following everything that you've outlined. And so being consistent, I guess, is there. But just gotta go through the pain of the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
With the dietary change.
I think what you're detailing or kind of outlining is just taking ownership of the program, and it's kind of been something you've kind of hinted at the whole time. Is it's your program, it's your life. Like, yes, I'm going to give you a blueprint, and in the beginning, you want to stick to that as closely as possible. Like when you're laying the foundation, you want to stick to that blueprint as closely as possible, unless you want your house to collapse, right? So you stick to the blueprint as close as possible, but then once you get it, framed up, then you can start. Maybe I'll move the window over here a little bit, or maybe I'll have this. Maybe I'll have this with my meal instead of that. And we talked about it like throughout the program. There's always adjustments, right? It's like I might say broccoli, but what I really want is just a green vegetable, and so I give you options of things you can do. Like fish doesn't have to be salmon; it could be anything. There's always an adjustment that makes sense for you, right? I'm just kind of giving you a best case scenario, or just like the easiest to find scenario, but then you make that work for your life. And I think you've done that. Like you said, you went on vacation a couple times. There's all these holidays. I think your 3-month period was an interesting one because of that, right? Like you had all the holidays, you had summer, and COVID's kind of ending, and the world's opening back up, and everybody was going out to eat, kind of thing. And so you kind of had to navigate all that and still try to get to your goals. And I think you did a great job. And you had a glass of wine per night.
I was just gonna mention that there's some flexibility here.
Yeah.
It's I think one thing I learned is everything's about moderation, right? Like when people talk about having like a cheat meal, like you can have one, and like you can, but just like within moderation, like keep it within bounds, like enjoy yourself. Like that's what I've kind of like I was hesitant at first because it's just gonna ruin out all the progress I made. And like you don't want to look at the scale for the next day or two, like just like, but like it all evens out, it all balances out in the next few days or the next week or so. So so that was nice.
Yeah. I mean, like you can look at it for a reference point. Like if you, after you do your cheat meal or maybe your cheat weekend or whatever it is, right? I usually will like, don't look at the scale, right? Because you already know it's not going to say what you want it to say, right? So if you do decide to do it, you look at it as a reference point, but you know that once you get back on track, you're going to literally be back on track. So you don't have to really stress it too much. Just jump back into what you were doing, and you'll get right back to where you were, or get back on track to losing, if that's what your goal is.
Right. No, I think that's the key difference is the fact that I am able to stick with something now, and I know kind of the blueprint there, and it was, I guess, critical for me to kind of follow the program throughout the first month or two, be very, I guess, detailed about it, and then to where then I can kind of find my groove with different things, as you mentioned. No, but it's been good. It's I feel healthier, so there's that.
Good. So what's your goal now? Where you trying to get to, or are you content where you are? You gonna kind of coast?
If I can try to get to that like 30-pound mark, just so I can, like, I mean, I'm like 2 pounds off, so like, I mean, but like I guess keep it I guess keep it consistent around where I am now. Pretty content with things. Obviously, I think there's room for adjustments here and there, whether if I can choose to pick a different meal here and there. But for the most part, I think I've kind of found the place where I'm content at, like around the 25 to 30 pound kind of loss range. And so I could go for more, but at this point, it's just about like being sustainable. Like even if I were to lose 40 pounds, is that sustainable for me to then continue to go at it? Is my body gonna be content at that place? But I feel good right now, so I feel like I'm in a happy medium. But if challenged, I could probably go down to that 40-pound range. But we'll see.
If somebody holds your feet to the fire, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like you've got all the tools at this point, right? Now it's just like on me to say, well, like, are you happy with where you are, or do you want to continue going? I think
right.
that's so like it's up to me now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you think maybe I should know? Any suggestions or any advice you want to give?
Would just say people should listen to you. I mean, I just really stick to the plan for the first few weeks are critical. I think it gets your, like, even the very first, like, I think the very first week or so, I think you repeat that, I think, in like one of the later weeks like down the line, but it's so much easier the second time. It's not even like a struggle at that point. It's like, oh, okay, like this is it, this is fine. So obviously just kind of stick to it. And regardless of how busy I guess people are, even if you dial into the call for at least 10 minutes or so, the weekly calls, I think it is helpful just because just to see other people in the progress you're tracking, because it's like, okay, someone's like kind of keeping an eye, sort of like, like coach is keeping an eye. So, I don't want to fully, if I'm going to jump off the bandwagon, there's someone there to, kind of motivate me or kind of say, hey, you committed, so there's that.
Okay. All right. Nice. All right, man. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know you're a busy guy. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this for me. Again, so you're like grandfathered in, like you're forever a part of the program. So if you have any questions, anything comes up, you have anything you need help with, if you do decide you want to push to the 40-pound range, let me know. If you have questions about workouts or anything, right? Really anything, just let me know. You can message me. You got my phone number. You got, the message. You'll still be in the app. All that stuff is still there. So if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll do my best to help you.
Nope. No, I appreciate it. I mean, this all started in high school, right? Where, so like, obviously, I already knew and trusted, like like the products and things of that you were preaching with the workouts and all that. So like, I was like, well, like, if I'm gonna go with someone, I'm gonna go with someone I trust, or like someone I know other people trust as well. So obviously, there's that, and it's paid off again. Now I can't lift as much as high school, but we'll try
work on
for today.
Yeah.
But thanks, Coach. I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure, and thanks for kind of setting the habits back in the right direction, so can live a healthier life here.
Yeah, no, thank you for all your hard work, man. Keep pushing. And like you said, stay consistent and enjoy life, right? You have all the tools you need to take care of everything you need to take care of.
Yep. No, I appreciate it, Coach.
All right, bro. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right, man.
Bye.